In tonight with a close eye on 3 congressional races in Oregon and Washington that are still too close to call. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. Yes, Election Day has turned into Election Week, and several counties are still hard at work counting votes as even more ballots arrive in the mail. So the most closely watched race that remains undecided, Washington's 3rd District. Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez leading Republican Joe Kent, but her lead has narrowed throughout the day to about 6,000 votes now.
But in a statement late tonight, the Gluesenkamp-Perez campaign said in today's ballot count, Joe Kent did not make the gains he needed in order to have more than an outside chance of flipping the outcome of this race, unquote. And they said they're optimistic Marie will win. Joe Kent's campaign declined to comment.
Well, in Oregon's congressional races in the 5th District, Republican Lori Chavez-DeRemer is still out front of Democrat Jamie McLeod-Skinner. The split there about 6,800 votes. In the new 6th District, Democrat Andrea Salinas leads Republican Mike Erickson. That lead, though, even narrower. Salinas in front by just 4,000 votes.
The projected winner of the Oregon governor's race, Tina Kotek, declared victory today. Surrounded by supporters on Portland's waterfront, Kotek said she plans to focus on 3 things once in office: the homeless crisis, expanding access to mental health and addiction treatment, and unifying the state.
I promise to be a governor for all of Oregon. I ask my fellow Oregonians, no matter who you voted for, or even whether you voted at all, to believe in our state and our future. Please be engaged so we can all help solve problems together.
Kotek would also be the first openly lesbian governor of Oregon. Late today, the Associated Press joined the Oregonian in calling the race for Kotek. It was a close race, but Kotek's lead has grown throughout the day as more ballots were counted. Republican challenger Christine Drazan has not conceded or commented on the latest numbers tonight.
Well, governor may have been the biggest race on the ballot, but in dozens of Oregon cities and counties, voters were also weighing in on so-called magic mushrooms.
Voters statewide approved Measure 109 2 years ago, legalizing the use of psilocybin in licensed facilities. But after this election, many places will opt out. Alma McCarty took a look at why some leaders put the decision back on the ballot.
Well, even though more than 55% of voters approved Measure 109 in 2020, it's still yet to be fully implemented in our state. That's happening early next year once the rules are finalized. In the meantime, ballot measures in several communities are projected to pass, keeping the drug out, at least for now.
More than 100 Oregon cities and 27 counties decided earlier this year to pose the question to voters once again. Should psilocybin-related businesses, service centers, or manufacturers be prohibited? As it turns out, many voted yes, banning the psychedelic compound temporarily or, in some cases, permanently. Take Polk County, for example.
So far, 52.7% yes to 47.3% no.
Craig Pope is a Polk County commissioner. He explains why he opted to put psilocybin back on the ballot after speaking with county residents, many who cited concerns over another statewide measure that decriminalized small amounts of hard drugs.
And heard a lot of frustrations from people, most specifically about Measure 110 and how they felt that Measure 110 was a failed policy and a failed idea. And as they heard more about the psilocybin idea, they are very wary of that.
Under Measure 109, psilocybin could only be legally used by people 21 and older under certain circumstances. You wouldn't be able to purchase it and take it home. Angie Albee with the Oregon Health Authority spoke with us back in August.
At the License Service Center during that administration session, the client will meet with the facilitator. Psilocybin products will be sold to the client, and that's where the psilocybin services, the actual journey takes place.
Health leaders have until the end of the year to finalize the rules for every part of the process. Pope said even though these businesses are projected to be banned within the unincorporated areas of Polk County, those wishing to access these services won't have to travel far to find them.
You know, we're backing into it. I think that's the right way to do it. I know the science will come along with it, and Let's give it an opportunity to be proven out. Honestly, I don't think that our potential consumers of psilocybin in Polk County are going to have to go any long distances in the future.
Now, for all of those places that did put it on the ballot, there are a number of places that didn't, like Multnomah County, Portland, and Washington County, for example. Now, Washington County commissioners, they voted 3-2 not to put psilocybin to a vote again because a majority of voters in that community had already approved it back in 2020. David?
Thank you, Alma. Well, tonight, a few Oregon sheriffs are promising not to enforce part of a new statewide ballot measure considered one of the toughest gun control proposals, I should say, in the country. Measure 114 is projected to pass, although it still appears to be a very close vote. We mentioned last night that Linn County Sheriff Michelle Duncan posted on Facebook that her office will not enforce magazine capacity limits. Now, that part of the measure bans the sale of magazines holding more than 10 rounds. Other portions tighten requirements for permits, background checks, and safety training. Our Tim Gordon was in Albany today, the Linn County seat, and found the vast majority of residents he talked to agree with the sheriff.
Good for her. Tell me why. Because that 114 is the most bogus bill I've ever read.
Tim also checked in with a Lewis and Clark law professor who said the sheriff's position on 114 is a bit of a gray area until courts weigh in.
If the courts say, no, this is okay, this is good, then I think at that point, it's been settled and no government official can still maintain the view, well, I still think it's unconstitutional.
Well, the Linn County Sheriff says she hopes the measure is challenged in court soon. The Union County Sheriff has also said he will not enforce the law. You can stay up to date on all the results from Decision 2022 at KGW.com. We've got up-to-the-minute numbers from all the local and state races, plus candidate interviews and coverage of some of the other new measures about to take effect.
Tonight, the Oregon Health Authority is warning of a possible triple-demic this winter. Flu, COVID, and RSV cases are all on the rise. RSV is similar to a cold with coughing, trouble breathing, fever, and a runny nose as symptoms. But it can get really serious for young kids and people over 65. Oregon health officials are seeing triple the number of babies and kids being admitted to hospitals with RSV this fall compared to the last few years. Doctors say the numbers are higher this year because people have stopped wearing masks and social distancing.
We don't know yet if this RSV or influenza season will be more severe in Oregon than pre-pandemic seasons. But nationally, we are seeing some alarming trends of early and in some cases, very high circulation of both of those viruses.
The OHA sent an alert to healthcare providers and hospitals yesterday, telling them to prepare for a rise in cases by increasing staffing, supplies, and capacity. As for COVID, experts predict this winter the virus won't be as severe as last year, thanks to high levels of immunity. But cases are still likely to rise as people gather for the holidays.
Washington has just launched a service officials hope will save more people from suicide. It is a crisis line specifically for Indigenous peoples. Callers can reach one of 13 counselors who are also Indigenous by dialing 988. And then they choose the number 4 to speak to the Native and Strong Lifeline. You might remember 988 launched nationwide this summer as an easier to remember suicide prevention and mental health crisis counseling line, one that is open to everyone. The Indigenous service in Washington appears to be the first in the country.
And it's really important for us to hear that voice on the other end and to know that we do have something common. We're just a little bit different in that way. And so it's really important because, as you know, Indigenous people, there's a lot of mistrust and we don't trust in a lot of programs.
According to the CDC, suicide rates are highest among Native Americans when compared to other ethnic groups. Williams says if the new Native and Strong Lifeline can save just one person, it'll be a success. Now, if you are in crisis or need to talk to someone, anyone can call 988. Counselors are available 24/7.